What's up? What's up? This is Sil Abdul Inc. here for a Coffee Talk Special Brew Edition. Special brew because we have a special guest. This is a guest that Yahoo News, Entertainment News says is a quote, very reliable and someone you should count on for Marvel and DC News. We got the editor-in-chief and owner of GeekOsityMag.com. It's a long introduction. Mikey Sutton is in the building today. How you doing?
I know you're going to ask me that question. I know you are just waiting to ask me about it.
Well, I have a few questions, Mikey. I have a few questions. Now, I just want the audience to realize again, with Mikey Sutton, what he's done in the past. We want to make it very clear his stance on the Snydercut movement because people always have questions, about journalists and, and people that bring out information, geek sites. So we're just going to get right into it because I think everyone's excited to hear what you have to say. Now, to set the stage here, right now, it was a Facebook post that I think was a little obscure for some people. In November 2019, where it says right here. Now, again, we note the date right here. We're getting right into it. I'm going to say hi to everybody in just a moment. We're getting right into it. But we said, it's saying, despite continuous denials from Warner Brothers, this is November 2019, says there are plans to release a Snyder Cut of the Justice League on HBOMax. However, there are issues preventing them from announcing when to expect it. Mainly, the Snyder Cut is unfinished. There is incomplete effects work. For one thing, Snyder was gone from Justice League before specific scenes could be, and now never will be, but now is shot. what left needs to be worked is presented to the general public. So you had all of this where you talk about the subscription angle as well in 2019 for the Snyder Cut. Just giving people an idea, you was kind of ahead of the Snyder Cut talk. Do you kind of remember around that time when you got this information? And how
I remember everything. Yeah, this was about 2 months after my Spider-Man news that broke the internet, and I became kind of famous after that happened. Just a reminder, August 2019. There was a report that came out in Deadline, I believe it was, and a couple of trades also reported it that Spider-Man was leaving the MCU, and then that was it. I mean, that Sony wasn't going to renew the deal with Marvel Studios, and it was dead. And every site ran with that, like start crying now, fanboys. Tom Holland is gone.
I remember that.
All this doom and gloom, all the YouTube channels were munching on this for lunch, I'm like, man, it's like crack to all the rage baiters out there, So, and I was like, actually, I found out a day before that story was going to happen. Someone told me, sent me a text message, said, hey, this is breaking tomorrow. There's a dispute with Sony and Disney. And I was like, Sony's not going to do this. You're not going to walk away from this. That's
good
stupid.
Memories right here. We got Spider-Man fan.
They can't be that stupid, right? And so, so I made some calls. I was emailing people at 3 a.m, right? And I was texting them like, "Go to bed, dude." Like, no, man, I couldn't sleep. Right? Like, is this true or not? Like, what's really going on here? So the next day, I finally got a source to talk to me, and it was the same source that gave me the Civil War scoop back in 2014, where I said Spider-Man and Black Panther will be in Civil War. No one knew who I was back then. I was breaking this on Facebook to a couple of hundred people, right?
Right.
So, and he goes, no, okay.
Posts like this, right? You kept doing posts like that.
Yeah, posts like that. And it was just, he said, no, it's just a dispute. Sony is trying to get leverage over Marvel Studios. They want a better deal. So they're going to put this out on social media and pressure Marvel into taking a better deal for Sony. And I'm like, Marvel Studios is not going to bend. They're not going to do that. But Sony has everything to lose, right?
Right.
So when I got this information, so I said, so the deal really isn't dead. He goes, no, it's not dead. They're just kind of arguing back and forth. And like, I'm very familiar with business tactics. It's called a
Mm-hmm.
takeaway. It's
Right.
when you pretend you're walking away from a deal, but you're doing it because you want a better deal. So you pretend to walk away from it, hoping that the other person would blink
Mm-hmm.
and then accept what you're offering now. But Kevin Feige wasn't going to do that. So I went on Facebook that afternoon, right, naively thinking, okay, I have 1,000 friends. I get 200 likes on this, and that's it. It's over, done with. Like I just wanted to get it out there because it was bothering me seeing all the bogus articles I was seeing. It was really irritating, right?
Right.
So I got it out there, and no response after the first few minutes, right? 2 hours later, I checked my notifications, and there's like 300 likes on the post, or something insane like that. I'm like, what
Hey.
the heck's going on here? A couple of hours later, like 1,000 shares. I'm like, what?
Blew up.
And no one knew who I was, right? So I was like, what is going on? And apparently, I was the only person that was giving a contrary view to what everybody else was saying, that it was dead.
Yeah.
And
This
that's
is the
why,
Yahoo article.
yeah, and then, that happened like a couple of weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
It just exploded, and then, Yahoo News.
Yeah.
You know how weird it is to go on Yahoo.com and see your
This is huge.
an article about me on the front page. And it was like,
This
what
is the
the
Yahoo story, like Mikey's
Yeah.
saying, from October 9th, 2019.
It was
He was
crazy.
the only source they could go off of
Yeah.
that was saying the contrary. And they even says right here, Mikey Sutton, who runs a private Facebook group.
Yeah.
So this was their source.
Yeah, that's my
And
source.
you were right.
Dude, I had no website. Like I had like a Facebook group. I mean, who does this, right? Like, it was none of this was intentional. But what happened was after I posted that Spider-Man information on my Facebook, somebody went and did a search and found out that I had broke Civil War. I talked about the Fox Marvel deal in 2015. Like, wait a minute, this guy kept getting all these stories right, but no one knew who he was. So that gave me like a ton of credibility. I had no idea that would resurface, but it did.
Yeah, that's what they say. You had a good record releasing accurate information. They say even probably more people that we think are credible. This is their quote.
It's crazy. And I remember seeing that gets logged on. I'm on Yahoo.com, like a front page. I remember texting Matt Jarbo, like, dude, I'm on Yahoo.com. He's like, what? But it's funny still, because at the time after that, I was known as the MCU guy.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't know I also had DC sources.
People still tell me that too. Mike, they're like, he's an MCU guy. I was like, nah. You don't know, Mikey.
Here's something that people don't know, that haven't been very public about. I once worked for a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. And so I have a little bit of history with WB. I got to know people there. So this is one of those interesting things. Like, I have, some connections I never talk about in public. So
right.
But it's interesting because when I broke the Snydercut news,
right,
like, hey, you're a Spider-Man guy. What are you doing? Where did this come from?
So you broke this news. So and again, this was still on the Facebook group, right? With the Snydercut.
Yeah.
So a lot of articles, because after this and around this time, people were saying, no, it's a pipe dream still.
Yeah.
No Snydercut. Why were you so confident in 2019 that the Snydercut was coming?
Well, the sources I got it from, they were pretty legit. I mean, they used to give me a lot of Greg Berlanti information.
My favorite, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to scoop those a lot. Like, I scooped Ezra Miller on the Flash show like years before all of.
Really?
Yeah, and I do have a screenshot of my post of that too. From way before you joined the group, so you never saw it. I'll email it to you. But yeah, I do have a screenshot of Ezra Miller meeting Grant in the Speed Force. Exactly like how it happened.
Yep,
Like,
that's exactly how it happened.
you know, and I mentioned Crisis too. I mean, like, you know, it was like after the fact, I just like, do you have a time machine or something? How did you know about this?
Because I do remember you pointing that out because that was before I think they had the Earth X crossover. Then they announced Crisis at the end of that. And so that was ahead of the game as well. So you were very confident in your sources then.
I was very confident, And even though everybody was saying it was dead, John Campea was saying it was dead. I mean,
everyone.
He really regretted that, but back then he was saying it's not
a lot of
backtracking.
A lot of backtracking. But I like what you said in this post here because you acknowledged that yes, there was some VFX that Zack still would want to do. This was all true, and that he needed at least 10 million or more. Now that ballooned to like 70 million.
70 million,
but you knew he needed more money to finish it. You know, so that was a lot. That was a lot of information in 2019, and so you put it out there. Now, you know, we kind of fast forward to now because if you caught some of my videos, I talk about Warner Brothers a little bit now. I'm gonna give Warner Bros. A little credit. Warner Bros. Home Entertainment is putting out the IMAX expanded aspect ratio BVS. If people can see right there, the expanded screen. Pretty cool scene right here because this is a little plug for this, but it's pretty cool because if you normally see this film right now, you don't see all these parademons in the sky. Like they come out of nowhere, you know, with the lower box format. So with this expanded screen, I'm very excited to see that. I just wanted to.
But that looks fantastic, but that looks incredible.
I'm looking forward to that. I just wanted to say that, but let's get into as far as.
Well, let me have a breaking story for you.
Let's get to it.
Before I get into what I was planning on, before I talked to you today, I actually called the source who gave me the Snydercut news to begin with. And I said, I'm going to be on a YouTube show today. Is there anything you have to offer that I could tell Sil and his audience and all Snyder fans? Like, is there anything I can bring up? I was told that he has seen the movie.
Okay. Let me do because this is like a live Geekosity update, so I'm gonna hit him with the. All right, we're official now, so please continue.
He said he loves the film, and this guy, he's actually an MCU fan. So even though I can't reveal too much about him, but let's just say that he absolutely was blown away by the movie. He said his expectations were fairly low because he was thinking that, well, how much, better can it be? He was expecting maybe slightly better than, at least take out all the crappy parts of Joss Whedon's version and have a better edited version of the new material that Zack had, and then they were expecting more of a mishmash like that. But what he got was, he said it's one of the greatest superhero films ever made.
Whoa! Now this is from an MCU.
I know. Yeah.
This is from an MCU guy, right? He probably doesn't like BVS. I'm just assuming.
He does not like BVS, no. He likes Man of Steel, though. Man of Steel, he enjoyed.
Right, that's most people who aren't really into fandom. They appreciated Man of Steel, but they didn't like BVS. So he's saying this is the greatest.
He said it's one of the greatest superhero films of all time. He said to him, it's on par with Endgame and Winter Soldier. I mean, that's
wow. Winter Soldier. When you say Winter Soldier, because I said, I'm DC first, but I love Winter Soldier as a film. So that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, and he would, as far as DC movies are concerned, he said he would rank this with The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan.
Well, that's pretty major.
Yeah, like close to it. Yeah, he said visually, Snyder he went above and beyond his expectations for a film. And
that's amazing.
And he did not mince words when it came to Warner Brothers. Like, how did they not see this masterpiece? How could they not? How did that?
And that's what we say every day on my show here, like the viewers. That's what we say every day. How didn't they see this coming?
And he said that the 4-hour format is perfect for Snyder because it is a graphic novel on film. It's exactly what he said. It's a graphic novel. I mean, this is what Zack has been trying to do this whole time with 300 and Watchmen. And those are, good films, but this is much, much better. I mean, this is a real graphic novel on film.
That's amazing.
He said that people will get blown away by this film. Now, I did ask him, because remember I've been reporting about how Walter Hamada and, how they weren't impressed with the Snydercut.
So this is another point you're bringing up, right?
And he said it's probably a bias towards their personal feelings towards him and all the controversies with Ray Fisher and everything.
Ray Fisher is
it's just all the controversies and the fact that the BVS and just the Whedon version didn't do very well. There's a lot of bias there. But he said that it could also be a question of tone because it's a dark movie.
Yeah, of course.
But he said that Zack really makes the tone work in this film. More so than Dawn of Justice. Like it has to have this tone. And he mentioned how gritty the film is. But it's a very important thing for me to add to. It's 4 hours long, but he said it moves quickly. Like you don't notice that it's 4 hours long.
Right.
In fact, you want more. And he was saying that how did Warner Brothers not see this? How could they not see this masterpiece and like, you know what? This isn't very good. Let us hire Joss Whedon. I don't
get it.
He said it's the equivalent, because it's a very hilarious comparison he made here. So imagine if, they told the director of Joker, like, you know what, we're going to take you off the movie and put Pee Wee Herman in charge.
So Joss Whedon is Pee Wee Herman.
Exactly. I mean, he said like Joss Whedon did it's crime of the century.
Oh my goodness! So he mutilated the Snyder Cut, like that's. And we knew this, but now we're hearing, like you're saying, your guy, is like an MCU guy, whatever.
Yeah.
We're hearing bloggers and journalists on social media praising this film. I have a friend of mine who, he's hardcore Disney Plus, Marvel, and he's saying, hey, hashtag restore the Snyderverse. And so like, it's catching me off guard as someone who's been fighting for this cut. That everyone is loving it. That's getting early access. You got a couple nut jobs out there, but the majority is that they're loving it. They know it's Zack's tone there. It's almost like people were ready for Zack's tone finally going into the film. Is that kind of fair party to kind of say why the tide is kind of turning a little bit with the opinions?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But he just said the storytelling is very confident in this film. It moves very smoothly. And he added that Zack Snyder needs a big canvas. You can't limit him to a 2-hour film. It's just you're basically emasculating him because he has a huge vision of what to do in a movie, and he said this is Zack Snyder unleashed. I mean, if you're a Zack Snyder fan, this is your movie. I mean, no doubt about it.
You were hinting towards this.
This guy collects Marvel Funkos. Okay, he is a hardcore Marvel junkie, and he goes, man, I know I was the one who gave you that scoop.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't expecting anything from this movie. I just thought, you know what? Oh, yeah. And like, like 3 hours into the film, I was like so mesmerized by what I saw.
And you were telling me this, like when I report Geekosity, any update you had of Snyder,
Yeah.
you could find that on this channel.
Yeah.
I probably had the article in the description. And you
Yeah.
were saying this is Zack Snyder unhinged, like he
Yeah.
is not holding back in this film.
No, he
That's
doesn't
what to
hold
expect.
back.
And now like people are visually seeing it and they're loving it. They're
Yeah.
loving it.
But that's
which
the
is
thing
amazing.
too, is that Warner Brothers, Walter Hamada doesn't have much faith in this project at all. He doesn't think that the general public is going to go for this film.
Mm-hmm.
But what he told me is that no, he's totally wrong.
Really?
Because this is the kind of movie that's going to cause a lot of discussion online with regular people.
Yes.
And he said that this is a step forward in filmmaking that happened years ago.
This was a 4-year. This film was supposed to come out in 2017.
Yeah.
So Zack was ahead of the curve.
He's ahead of the curve. He said this film was totally ahead of its time. Totally ahead of its time.
Crazy.
And it should be an IMAX movie. This is $1 billion IMAX film is what he told me.
Oh my god.
So like if you're on the fence about this movie, get off the fence and you're gonna have a great time with this movie.
Check this out. We are 1 week away from the Snydercut. They're going to release the Snydercut March 18th. HBOMax only. At this time, we'll see if they do some special screenings. Now, Mikey, we got James in the chat who does everything for Geekosity Mag. We know. He's saying there is a scoop. He's ready to load. I think he wants you to say it first before he
of course.
goes out there. So if we can transition to that, I'm assuming it's kind of related to what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's all related.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah, there's an MCU term for you. Well, it's like this. The situation with Warner Brothers is, it's a bit on the controversial side.
So they're former brothers, is what I call them here. At
there you go. There you go.
So they're still acting up, even though. I mean, we've seen, and I just kind of want to set the table. Your earlier reports, you said that they were doing these announcements to kind of throw off the momentum of the Snydercut, the Sasha Kaye Supergirl, the Blue Beetle, the Black Superman, to kind of smoke screen the Snydercut. So, what are we saying after that?
Okay, well, there was a Zack Snyder interview. I think it was yesterday, where he said that the Snydercut is not canon. I mean, that Joss Whedon's version is what Warner Brothers believes is in continuity, and not what he's doing. And so, what I'm hearing that when Zack Snyder does more projects for HBOMax, they will be set in their own continuity. They will not be attached to what DC Films does theatrically, meaning that the Wonder Woman movie, the Wonder Woman 3, and Blue Beetle, all the other films, even Aquaman, the next Aquaman 2, is not going to have any connection to what Snyder has done or will do.
Right.
They're going to have their own. I don't want to use multiverse, but for lack of a better term,
its own universe.
Yeah, because you know what, I remember saying this in one of my reports that I don't want to shout conspiracy. It's not me, but they really don't want this film to succeed. Hamada, and they want this to go away.
They want to do their own thing, is what you've been saying.
Yeah, so I heard that Warner Brothers did not want Henry Cavill in Shazam 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And any appearances by him in DCEU films will not have any references to Snyder's work. So if you see Henry Cavill in Black Adam, there'll be no references to Man of Steel or anything like that, or a Snyder cut. It'll just be, hey, Superman's here.
Huh.
because they don't want anything to connect back to Snyder.
So okay, Mike, you dropped a lot. Like when you say something, Mike, I pick through your words.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mind them for. Now you
Go
start
for
off
it.
by saying when Zack does more. That's
Yeah.
the first thing you say. Okay, so I don't know if everyone caught that.
I'm very sneaky, and you notice I didn't say if, I said when. You're good, man. You're a good reporter, dude. I'm serious.
So you said when Zack, because we'll get to everything else. Because
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna have a nice video about
Yeah.
the former brothers probably later on this article that just dropped on geekositybag.com. But said when Zack does more, you are
Yeah.
pretty confident that Zack is going to do more. Is
I'm
that fair?
100% confident that he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do more, especially after my source was this guy on the phone with me for an hour today talking about this film. I told him don't want any spoilers, but he just kept going off on how great it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, okay, do you think this will succeed? He goes, hell yes. This will be hugely successful on HBO Max. And there will be more. They're gonna offer him the moon when
So
this comes out.
this is HBO Max. So HBO Max,
Yeah.
because we see they're loving this engagement.
Yeah.
They're rallying up the fan base. We're tweeting every day about
Yeah.
this film.
Oh yeah.
They're not dummies, right? They see
No, they're
that
not.
they have something.
You
But
know who's AT&T is very happy about this project. They
they
love
better
it.
be.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they feel the money was very worthwhile, and they have a lot of hopes for this film, and so whatever hesitation anybody has, throw it out the window. This film will blow you away. Now, I wish I have seen it myself. I wish I could see it already, but I have to wait like all you guys.
We're almost there. We are
I know,
1 week
almost there, man. It's getting there. It's getting
under
there.
1 week away from the Snyder Cut dropping. We got a lot of buzz now. Now you have Marvel guys praising it. Up there with Winter Soldier.
Next, right?
I wasn't expecting
living
that.
together. I mean, come on.
I wasn't expecting that. But so, and first shout out to Barcy in the chat. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're not, because then I'll bring Mikey back more. So when we talk about Zack getting more, you've been setting this table for a while. You said, hey, Zack, HBO Max is the angle, that he's going to do more, or when, if or when. Now you're more confident than ever that Zack's going to do more. Are we talking about, because he made it clear at IGN, Zack did, that he has two more films he would do for Justice League.
Yeah.
Do you think they would give him that, or like the Joker project, or
no? They will. They will, because he said that once this movie hits, the appetite for more is going to be so strong, and HBO Max needs content anyway. But what he's telling me that this will get even more of a social media impact than WandaVision, which I think is like, you're a Marvel guy. You're telling me this will get more attention than WandaVision. That's saying quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's saying quite a bit. And he said if Snyder is allowed to do 2 and 3, then DC Films will have their Endgame. They will have it. And it'll be much longer in movies too. But they will get. See, here's the funny part still, the irony of it all. Warner Brothers wanted their own MCU. It was right under their nose the whole time. They had it, but they just didn't have the patience to let Zack and confidence to let Zack do his thing. And when you see this movie, from what he told me, it's gonna make you very upset at Warner Brothers for butchering that film. They're gonna be like, "What the hell did you do?" And there was a lot of panic with DC Films because Dawn of Justice didn't make the $1 billion that they wanted, and a lot of impatience as well, because And I'll get to the Black Panther thing later. I know you're not asking about that.
Yeah, right.
Because it's all tied together. The
Mm-hmm.
impatience, the lack of faith, and the misunderstanding of what Zack's vision is. And the irony of it all is that Warner tries to have this image of being director-driven studio. But yeah, but what they do is what happened to Zack then? I mean, they didn't. Exactly, could have been $1 billion. I mean,
Yeah.
let him do his thing. And this film makes the Whedon version so bad. I mean, even worse than it already is. And but you're gonna see like what a crime it was, what they did to his version.
We converted someone in the chat looking. They want to see the Snyder Cut now. There's probably someone that's followed you before.
Think about this. I had a Marvel guy preaching DC to me over the phone. I mean, where does that tell you? You know?
Oh my goodness. So what we're saying right now is that because I believe everyone kind of assumed if the Snyder Cut's successful, if they see some results, that Zack can get more. I don't really look at that as like breaking news, but I look at it more of, okay, it's kind of inevitable now that he can get more. But you're doubling down more on that Warner Brothers theatrical is going to still do their own thing. So that leads us to the Flash movie, right?
Yeah,
we got this Flash movie coming up.
Yeah.
Are they really like, do you think they're using this film? Because I never really asked you much about this film yet. But they really use that as kind of like their rebirth reset, right? Like they are going forward with something else.
It will be. It will be. Yeah. It will be. And that's been the plan all along, apparently. I do want to add something. In the article that's being posted at GigassiMag.com, I kind of toned down something, but I wanted to go on your show and tell it to you raw.
Okay.
And remember I said that Walter Hamada was not impressed with the Snydercut.
Right.
Well, he didn't like the Whedon version either. But here's the thing. Well, he didn't like it after it came out. You know what I mean? Like he was very optimistic about it before it was released. But when it came out, everybody like started, like putting crap, like it was awful and it didn't do very well. Like, oh yeah, you guys were right. Yeah, it's bad after all,
Right.
But apparently, get this, he doesn't blame that version being poor, being terrible. He doesn't blame it on Whedon.
Really?
He blames it on Zack. He said Zack didn't give Whedon much to work with. I'm like, wait a minute. Zack Snyder didn't voluntarily give Joss Whedon his movie. Like, here, take it.
Right.
Can you improve this for me? I'm like, oh my god, how? Like, wow, I mean, what a total lack of respect for Snyder. That's how I interpreted that,
Yeah.
But he said that the Zack's version was not salvageable to begin with. That it wasn't Whedon's fault. That my source told me, he goes, it's not Whedon's fault. The original version was shit.
Wow.
So when you see a Snydercut, I realized it was unfinished when Hamada first saw it, but ask yourself, is this shit?
So you got people praise, like I said, people that I've known, as far as through social media for over the past year or so, and I know how they leaned with the BVS, and they are saying restore the Snyderverse. Zack should do more. It sounds like he's going to do more HBOMax, which is cool. But again, now we're Snyder fans here, as far as the viewers here and myself.
Yeah,
we're DC fans too, so it makes us a little nervous. Like I said, with this Flash film, today you see the report of Kiersey Clemens. The Iris, Zack's Iris, is going to be in the Flash film. Is that them kind of, I guess, trying to keep some kind of continuity? Like that's kind of a curveball, right? Because Batfleck's in the Flash too.
Yeah, they're gonna have actors that Snyder used. Obviously, Jason Momoa is still around. Amber Heard's
right.
Okay, we'll get to Amber Heard in a minute. But I mean, the actors are still around. But you're not gonna see like flashbacks to Man of Steel or or
Right.
anything like that. I mean, the actors will be there, and
Okay.
they will, actors will come back and they'll play roles that they had before, but there
Mhm.
won't be any like really tight references to Snyder's film.
Gotcha. So like a different comic run is
Yeah.
what they're going for. Is probably the best way to put it. And I think
Mhm.
most of us we kind of got the gist of that. It's just we want Zach's arc, and it sounds like again he's going to get that.
He's gonna get his arc.
HBO Max. We're going to get the end of that story that he's setting up.
Yeah.
With the Snyder. Well, I think it's good news. I think that's been a developing story.
Well,
And
here's the
now,
thing too. Like the Flash. Okay, I want to say the new DCEU, right? But really, it's basically a multiverse, and they're really like Warner's man. They're like the weather here in Seattle. It changes all the time, right? So, like November 2019, when I scooped the Snydercut, they were saying back then, okay, if this is a hit, if it does well, then we're gonna bring back a DCEU Snyderverse in theaters.
they were saying that in 2019.
Yeah, they were saying that if it does well,
Mm.
if it does well,
Mm.
and there was discussion like that. Okay, reluctant discussion, but they were looking at money. They're looking at
Right.
money, but now the tide has turned. Now they're like, no, we're gonna focus on the multiverse. We're gonna have
Why?
directors.
Why do you think that, Mikey? Why do you think they're doing that?
There's a bias against Snyder's style.
Okay.
Right now, until the film comes out, Walter Hamada is not convinced that the general public is going to go for this movie. Now, what my source is telling me is that people who watch streaming channels, you're not necessarily looking for like popcorn movies. They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the dark shows on Netflix. Look how successful they are. So his tone, especially the long form, movies and everything. Yeah, of course, in theaters, people aren't going to exactly sit through a 4-hour movie, maybe, but at home it plays differently, and expectations are different. And
Right.
so Walter Hamada was not seeing, his style like ever appealing to the big audience that Kevin Feige has, for instance. But HBOMax though looks at it a different way. They're saying Zack Snyder can create a Game of Thrones for us with DC properties. That's what they're seeing.
Okay.
Whereas Walter Hamada's like, hey, where's our Avengers? Where's our Captain Marvel? Where's our Iron Man?
So they're gonna keep doing their thing. I guess like I said, Warner Brothers, Zach, and I'm assuming that's probably a question for the fandom. Is that a happy medium to know that Zach's going to do more? Warner Brothers is going to do their own thing going forward. I'm going to touch on this question on the screen in just a moment, but Grace Randolph, we kind of discussed. You kind of touched on the point of Zach doing more. You believe it's going to happen, HBO Max. And even people in the chat, they said some other scoopers that said that as well, and that's great. I think that's good that there's multiple scoopers that's saying the same thing. She also, and I actually reached out to Grace about this. I talked about Wonder Woman 3 possibly having Zach doing Wonder Woman 3. Does that sound like anything you've heard, or do you see that if that's possible?
Well, unless I'm mistaken, didn't Patty Jenkins already sign for a third film? I think she did, didn't she?
They announced it at least. After the World Squadron was announced at a Disney Investors Day, they announced her Wonder Woman 3 as well for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Okay, so we'll move on. Because I just never asked you that, so I just wanted to see.
I mean, it's an interesting theory, but no.
Okay, so we'll move on. So with this,
I'll add this. I'll add this too. I mean, if Patty Jenkins decides, you know what, I'm not going to direct this movie, I really doubt they will hire a male director for.
Even Zach is with all again. This is Warner Brothers. This is DC Films. They're not going to reach out to Zach to do that. No, I'm sorry. That's just I don't know.
No. However, if HBO Max wants to do a Mira movie, they're gonna hire Zack.
We'll circle back to that. So we'll circle back to Mira because I am hearing a lot about Mira, and I know you've been a big source of that as well. Now Nate Downs is saying, because we're going back to this Flash film again, there's some confusion with DC fans. Like that's one thing that MCU Feige, he has everybody on these phases, and you know what's coming, in the future. DC, we're like, okay, we love these characters. We're kind of split. We love what Snyder's going to do. We believe, HBO Max. This Flash film, you got Batfleck. Now you said that they're still going to use these characters. They're still under contract with Warner Brothers. So they're and maybe we can talk about Cyborg in a minute too. But but Batfleck, that's the theory that he's in this Flash film to finish his arc. Do you believe that, or have you heard anything different from that?
I've heard in the past that they were going to use the Flash as a way of saying goodbye to Ben Affleck as Batman, and that way they'll have no loose ends, right? And then have full on Robert Pattinson. Not sure if that's still in the equation there, because I tell you still, Ben Affleck has a lot of fans at HBO Max. A lot of fans, and I really don't think they're going to kill him off. I mean, if HBO Max plans on using him, and I reported that before, right? I don't think he's going to die in the Flash. So.
The Batfleck solo project, that's one project. When I lost hope, I don't know if you know this, Mikey, I lost hope in this project months ago, right? Because I was like, you hear stuff and then nothing's moving, and you were confident in the past about a Batfleck solo project. Are you still feeling the same?
Very confident, very confident. And in fact, if Ben doesn't direct it, I wouldn't be surprised if Zack ends up doing it. Because in BVS, Dawn of Justice, my favorite scenes in that film were with just Batman. Zack is a great Batman director. I think he does well with the character. And I know that the Batfleck project is not dead. I think that's still going to happen. And what I'm hearing too is that if Snydercut does really well, AT&T is going to give Zack the budgets for his DC projects on HBO Max. He's going to get the budget.
Is this a new deal? Is this something you think will be sort of like a new deal, or
it'll be a new deal? It'll be a new deal, yeah. And,
awesome.
Yeah, and Zack right now, I mean, he's like, okay, he's being chill right now, but man, I'm telling you, this film explodes on HBO Max. He's gonna get like these trucks of money like parking in front of his place.
Right. Well, I'm thinking of like the Coogler deal. He's gonna have a Disney Plus exclusive. He has a Disney Plus exclusive deal. Ryan Coogler. Zack has a Army of the Dead universe, fledgling with Netflix, but it's not like an exclusive deal. But it doesn't have to be exclusive. But the point is, you believe HBO Max is going to, after the Snyder Cut is successful, next week after we all watch it, that they're going to open the gates up and say, Zack, develop all this stuff.
Oh yeah, they're going to come to him and said, okay, what can you do for us, or what do you want to do for us? I think that the first thing they're going to get out of the way are the sequels.
Right.
Justice 1, 2, and 3. They're gonna get out of the way. He will finish his storyline. He will finish it. And you know what? They're gonna get their end game. It won't be for theaters, but they'll get their end game.
Wow.
And the irony of it all, still, and my source was telling me this, goes, what if Snyder's HBO Max projects are more popular than the ones that come out in theaters?
Exactly.
So that's going to be interesting, right? I mean, the irony of it all.
It's very possible, because
it's very possible, right? I mean,
you're talking about theatrical. You're talking about the Flash film, which I think would be pretty cool. Aquaman. I mean, Black Adam's going to be pretty big, so it's going to be interesting to see, how the attention Zack gets.
Well, there is some thing is Hollywood. I mean, it's powered by money, but it's also powered by egos. And when you have money already, it's your ego that you hold on to. And and there is some ego involved in wanting the Snyder cut to fail, because
Yeah.
Hamada doesn't want to look like, oh man, I was wrong. You mean I was wrong? No way. You know, and yeah, these very successful men have very fragile egos.
Yes.
And they don't want to be humiliated. I mean, like when Dawn of Justice got bad reviews, the execs took it personally. I
Yeah.
released a film, but it's not going to do as well as we thought it would, and it's getting bad reviews.
Very knee-jerk reaction,
Very
because
knee-jerk reaction,
it
totally.
could have made $1 billion, I think, if they stood behind it for another month. I think
So, all the Thunder fans out there, when this is released, go on social media and talk about how much you love the movie, because they are watching, they are listening.
Yes, that's going to help Zack
It's going to
secure,
help Zack a lot.
the Snyderverse to do
Yeah.
whatever he was thinking. The Death of Robin story. I did a lot of reports from you talking about that story that Zack wants to do. He wants to film all this stuff. And I believe the crew will be on board. The cast will be on board for whatever Zack wants to do. But then at the same time, they will be available for Warner Brothers theatrical pictures. That's just the state of the things. And we take the projects as they come, y'all. Now, you didn't say, because I want to address this question too, but you briefly mentioned the Shazam 2, because I did my scooping report saying that it was a developing story that Cavill, they were looking for him to be in Shazam 2. You talked about this over a year ago. And then I heard recently that they were actually talking to him about the contract to be in Shazam 2. Now, your update to that, is he still negotiating, or is he out of Shazam 2?
No, he's still negotiating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So Cavill is still on board, or he's still in play.
Yeah, while they're Warner Bros. Executives, they really want to push this J.J. Abrams Superman. But the thing is this: when Snyder Cut comes out, they're gonna want to see more of Henry.
Yes.
It's gonna again. They're in this very unusual position, dude, where it's like they have a huge film coming out on their streaming channel that's not going to echo into their theatrical movies. They're trying to give you something else, right? So
it's almost like Warner Bros. They was trying to stay relevant all this time, like as far as announcing, the Supergirl, and the Black Superman. They're just like, hey, don't forget that we're doing DC too, because everyone's talking about the Snyder Cut.
I got some inside gossip for you. They're very annoyed by the social media reaction.
Warner Brothers.
Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers is very annoyed that it's overshadowing their other projects.
It's supposed to.
And they're like we got this shiny new toy for you. You still want that old one? That's exactly what they're thinking right now. Like, they want to move on, but it's like, hey, we're giving you guys some new rock. They still want the classic rock. Come on, man.
We're like, no, we like this. And again, I went on record saying, I'm looking forward to the Blue Beetle, because that was my first Geekosity story that I covered. You called the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. So that's great that they're, greenlit that. Like I said, Sasha Calle, Supergirl, they have big plans for Supergirl, apparently, for the future. That's great. Black Superman, Calvin Ellis, that's great. But this is not the Snyder Cut.
And here's the issue with those projects. It's not really gaining traction. I mean, I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle. I want to see it. I mean, I scooped it, but it's not getting the attention the Snyder Cut is getting. And it's a concern because, when Snyder Cut comes out, people are going to want more Batfleck.
Exactly.
And Warner is like, no, forget Batfleck. Okay, forget him. We have Pattinson coming out.
Why do you think they're waiting to announce a Batfleck project? They're like, they know we want it, right? So I mean, is it literally just after the Snyder Cut comes out, then they talk about it? Is that what you think?
Well, there is a concern right now with the Pattinson movie, and it's not that they don't have faith in Pattinson. it's like the polarized reactions that they're getting right now makes them worried. Like even after that little teaser we got, I mean, he looks cool.
Yeah.
There's still people out there like Pattinson. Okay, I mean,
really?
Yeah, they're they're a little bit concerned. A little bit of concern at Warner there.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah, it is. And so,
what
they're really worried about though, if Snydercut comes out and Batman is totally badass in the Snydercut.
It's going to be. I'm just going to say.
I mean,
indirectly.
My sources could not stop talking about Ben Affleck in here, and I said people are going to want to see more of him because we really didn't get that much on Batfleck. We really didn't.
Just saying. I mean, I was just told, and obviously there's no spoilers on Self-Doing, so we're not going to spoil anything. But I was just told, like if we like Batfleck in that warehouse scene, in BVS, imagine, I guess that versus Parademons is what I said. Is what I was told.
I saw the scene. It's incredible. I mean, and people are going to want to see more of that.
Yes.
And so it's a concern because it's you have a shiny new toy out there that they want you to like. They want you to like Pattinson. They want you to like all this other stuff. No, forget about the Snyderverse. Forget about it. It's gone now. No, it's not gone.
We're just getting started. We're just getting started,
right?
So, in connection with the Snyderverse, that leads us to the Ayercut, right?
Yeah.
So we got Jovic with the comment here as far as how about the Ayercut? If it's really sounding like they're going to do more Zack HBOMax, it will be cool if Ayer gets his original vision as well. Have you heard anything new? I know we talked about this before that they're kind of waiting for the James Gunn Suicide Squad. Is there anything to add to that as far as the Ayercut?
In terms of anything official or reaching out to David Ayer, they haven't done that yet, as far as I know of. However, if the Snydercut does well, my source told me bank on it. Bank on the Ayercut coming.
Bank on the Ayercut
coming. If I actually stop saying if when because everybody knows like
it's gonna be a success.
This guy, man, this guy preached the standard gospel to me today. Okay, so like, hallelujah, man, hallelujah. Okay,
like that's what really because I know. I mean, I don't know the person, but like you said, like if someone doesn't like BVS and they like the Snydercut, that's a major turn to me. Like that's major. To me.
No, he didn't like Dawn of Justice. I remember he and I talked about it before I even said before I did. He's like, man, that film was a big mess. And like, really? He goes, yeah. And I said, okay. And then, he did that. That was the theatrical version, not the extended version that was released later. But this movie, he wouldn't stop talking about it today. I mean, he was really preaching the gospel.
That's wild.
And then he got really upset when he started talking about the Joss Whedon version. I'm like, man, if I was a director and did this to my child, he said Joss Whedon basically tortured the movie, and butchered the film, and it goes. It's worse than you think, is what he told me. It's worse than you think. Oh, my
God. So, because I had the theory. I was like, oh, I'm going to watch, the Justice League is what we call it in the fandom, the 2017 Justice League. I was like, I'll watch it one more time to kind of send it off into the sunset. I'm not going to do that to myself now. I'm just going to go.
No, don't do that. Don't do it.
We're going to the Snydercut. I think even Warner Brothers, I guess, in a sense, they're kind of going to ignore the theatrical Justice League as well as they go forward, because this is what this Flash film is, right? Like they're kind of they want to wipe the slate clean.
Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, the Flash film. I wish I could say that they're going to create a new cohesive universe, but they're not. It's all multiverse.
It's all director driven. Like
exactly.
That article where they try to call Zack, a cul-de-sac universe.
Like new gods won't have any ties to anything but new gods. It's its own
new god. Since you brought that, I want to address what Reese says right here. But new gods, any new traction with that? Because we keep hearing that script is like on his 5th and 6th draft. Is Ava DuVernay, because she's getting the CW Naomi, which apparently HBOMax and CW are gonna, dump money into the budget for that.
Yeah.
But New Gods, is she still gonna do it?
Yeah, she is. I haven't heard anything new. I mean, last I heard too, they're still trying to hammer out the script. So,
They're still doing the script.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean,
We'll check on you next year. Now,
maybe in 10 years, maybe. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I did bring up your long-term spec list about DCU and TiVo put out the Forever People. Was on the spec list last year.
Yeah.
Which I theorize will probably be a series, but I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Well, I mean, if New Gods is successful, they're going to do spin-offs.
Yeah.
But man, that movie is just like
development
hell. Forgotten almost. That's
definition.
Hardcore DC fan, like. Well, I forgot about that. They're doing that.
Do you think they're a little nervous because Zack is, Jack Kirby's, I think, grandson, praised Zack on social media about Darkseid, about the side. You think they're a little nervous?
Any praise for Snydercut from prominent people makes Walter Hamada nervous in his seat there. Like he starts adjusting his collar, and I was like.
Now, I tell people, Mikey, Walter Hamada is well known. His contract runs through till 2023, which coincidentally is after Aquaman 2 comes out. His friend James Wan. Yeah. I believe my theory is that they're gonna, he's gonna stay there until that film comes out, and I think Hamada is gonna be done.
I don't think he's gonna last.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the concerns, maybe. When the Snydercut comes out and it does so well, I'm like, dude, you were so wrong.
Dude, you're so wrong.
I mean, and look, he hasn't had a good record lately. And like Birds of Prey was,
It wasn't. And again, we're talking about critical and fan reception. No,
exactly,
Birds of Prey was not.
What do you have to show for? And then Snydercut comes out and everybody blows everybody away. I'm like, wait a minute.
So I mean, that's just it's all about the production. I compare it to Kathleen Kennedy because people this is a separate thing, but Kathleen Kennedy is apparently they're getting behind Kathleen Kennedy with Star Wars.
Well, we'll get that in a minute.
So but I guess my analogy is that they're seeing like, hey, Mandalorian and stuff like that. It looks successful. Yeah. At least they can say, hey, at least she's coming out with this. Hamada can't really say that. The Snydercut is not on his watch. So that's gonna be interesting. So let's address this. Go ahead.
Here's the sad part, though. He's gonna take credit for this.
We're not gonna let him. We're not gonna let him.
But he will, though. He will. I mean, he will take credit.
I would love to see him try.
I knew it was gonna be huge. That's why I agree.
I would love to see him try. Oh man, I'm waiting for that. Like you thought you saw former brothers reporting on this channel. Let Hamada try to take credit for the Snydercut. Oh my goodness. So let's address what Reese is saying here about if Zack does his own universe for HBO Max. I say when he does it. Do you think he can get the original plan for Wonder Woman, or at least the original ending to Patty's Wonder Woman 3 or Wonder Woman? Now, I don't think the original ending to Wonder Woman 2017 is going to happen, but Zack teased a 1854 Wonder Woman. Do you just think like, hey, Zack could do like a little Wonder Woman prequel, or you think that's possible, or
I think it's possible that he will do a spin-off project. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what on that. But
I keep hearing that Gal Gadot, like specifically people like you were talking about with Batfleck.
Yeah,
someone was DMing me saying like this is someone that had early access to the film. They're praising what Zack does with Gal Gadot in this film.
Yeah,
like they are praising it.
Well, what I'm hearing though is that AT&T is very excited about Zack doing more Joker. I broke the Killing Joke on geekositymag.com a while back, and they really want more Joker related stuff for Zack. Jared Leto apparently came across really well in Snydercut, and the thing is, Warner Brothers They know Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one, you know, character that they'll continue to exploit because they have such a great track record with Batman projects. And especially Joker is super hot right now.
Yes, especially after this drops. Just what I've heard about Leto, I'll just say it like that. That Leto, I'm not gonna say they said he steals the scenes that he's in the Snyder Cut, but just that man, he has a great presence as the Joker. Along Batfleck and the other side. Leto, I think is going to be wonderful going forward. Now, so this is a question here. George says right here, he's still kind of lost with the logistics of this. Does Zack Snyder have to go through Warner Brothers or AKA DC Films, Hamada, to do Justice League 2? Can he just go through HBOMax? What's the answer to that?
If it's just HBO, he just goes to HBOMax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it won't be a theatrical release, from what I've been told.
Yeah, and that's something I tried to really, because your articles, Mikey, has been stressing this, that hey, Zack has an angle. There's a misconception in the general audience, people that just don't pay attention to the how it's structured, is that they feel like, okay, DC Films, it has to go through Hamada and Emmerich. We have to fire these guys. You actually don't have to fire them. I mean, if they get fired, because they failed. But I don't think Emmerich's going anywhere, though. I want to make that clear to me. Toby Emmerich's not going anywhere. But Zack can do a DC property exclusive Max original. Because Warner Media owns all of this. They own the DC label, Warner Brothers. They own HBO Max. So they can do all of this just like they own half of CW. They do DC on CW. So
Warner Media is supportive of that. That's not the issue. The issue is DC Films. I mean, and Warner Brothers. They're the ones who know the issues with him.
Right. Let's so this kind of just following up. Why do they keep bringing up WB execs maybe wanting? And again, I don't think it's really Hamada wanting to do that sequel. I think it's HBO Max.
It's HBO Max, yeah. They just wanted to let it go if they could.
Right. Now, James in the chat, I guess he wants us to plug something real good before I get to the next question by Hugo or comment by Hugo. Tomorrow there is a super team emerging on social media and YouTube. This is a super team mega force. It's a mouthful because it's that major. Right now it's going to be tomorrow, Friday, March 12th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 2 Edward time. AM Edward time. It is Edward Lauder. It'll be on a small screen channel, youtube.com/smallscreenco. Edward Lauder, Mikey Sutton himself, me, and that James guy, sometimes TiVo, Lord of the Long Box, and random guests. It's going to be really fun. Looking forward to just, getting us all together. Like that whole super team thing. It's kind of like an organic thing. So that's going to be fun. Talking about everything.
We're going to be the Justice League tomorrow. We're going to form. You unite the five, right? We'll call it the Simon Cut.
Every cinematic universe will be touched on. It'll be on the small screen channel. We may do some special crossovers on Still Up Doing Ink, but right now it will be the small screen channel for sure.
I am dropping a major mega nuclear MCU bomb tomorrow during that show.
So you fans out there, if y'all like MCU as well, because we're going to reserve all that talk for tomorrow.
Heck, even if you don't like MCU, you might like this one. So
okay. There we go.
It has a crossover appeal, I think.
Great. So we're looking forward to that. So we'll save some of that heat. I think James wants me to say that. Save that for tomorrow. So
I'm not going to drop any hints like what happened last week in the Geek Culture Congress, right? Accidentally spilled something I shouldn't know.
Right. I remember that. So this here, Hugo, we teased on the Mira talk.
Yeah.
There's been so many. Like, I was so glad I found your story last year about Mira.
Yeah.
Because I saw so many
there's so much
all over the place. Hugo saying as far as update on Amber, that's been a lot to process. what's going on with Amber Heard?
Man, I tell you, man, this lady has more rumors than 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 some whore in a small town. I mean, seriously, like, like first of all, she's like rumored for every like geek movie possible, just because it annoys people to click on the article, right? So, like I heard a rumor she'll be in Star Wars. No, she won't be in Star Wars. It's not gonna happen. What the hell was that? But I tell you, so you know, it would be really hilarious if Amber Heard starred in a Star Wars film produced by Kathleen Kennedy and directed by Ryan Johnson. Can you imagine how controversial that would be?
It would do $1 billion.
We'd get 1 billion clicks on that, man. I'm serious.
It would do $1 billion.
Okay. Amber Heard is not going anywhere. I know some of you are irritated by that, but she's got the full support of Walter Hamada. And Zack Snyder likes her a lot too, so it's not just
he brought her back for additional photography.
No, he likes her a lot, and so it's not just Hamada. Just to be fair here, they do have plans for Mira. She's not going anywhere. So I know all the controversies and the petitions and everything, but I'm afraid Warner took her side. And you know, whatever she has done or is accused of doing, it's not for me to comment on that. I'm just telling you that she is going to be in that Aquaman franchise. I mean, she's going to do 2 and 3. So.
Yeah, so you threw a 3 in there. So because I updated on go ahead, Mike.
And she will get them, and there have been discussions of her doing a spinoff. So
yes, that was your story you broke months ago. That Mara, she has a good relationship with Warner Brothers and Zack, coincidentally, which I mean, it just kind of works out for her. So she gets a little more pub in the Snydercut, and I actually heard that she's pretty badass in the Snydercut. That's just what I heard.
She is. Yeah, I mean, I saw some footage. I was like, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so good for her. You know, and if they want to flesh out her character, now I did hear in the I have my update on my Patreon. It's in my description. SubDuel.com actually Patreon. I updated the production information for Aquaman 2. They officially haven't set up their production window, but I think it'll start this summer. They kind of have her slated after, of course, Jason Momoa, Ocean Master, Black Manta, then Mara. So she's not like that. She won't have a big of a role as far as what I heard for Aquaman 2, but her story is going to continue. I think it's
it is going to continue.
The main thing. Yeah, that's the main thing that people are asking for.
You're not going to let her go. I mean, I know people want her. Like the whole Emilia Clarke thing was bogus. So I'm sorry, but she's not going to be an Aquaman. And that is Mira.
Yeah, that Emilia Clarke. That was something that like wildfire.
Something that dropped today. I have to bring up with you. It was my source told me this, and I didn't mention it in my article. Which if you go to geekgossinymag.com right now, you'll see my Zack Snyder articles there.
Yes.
But anyway, I asked him out of curiosity, would Marvel Studios ever work with Zack? And because I'm curious, like, would he ever, or would they ever reach out to him?
Right.
And what my source told me was that no, there haven't been any talks between Zack and Kevin Feige, but he would not turn down meeting with him. Is what I heard. So just throwing it out there. I mean, there's.
So it's out there. It says Zack kind of put it out there with theorizing of like a return of Elektra story. It's really a Daredevil story. Frank Miller.
He can pull that. I'm not sure if you ever read the graphic novel Elektra Assassin. That is totally Zack Snyder's style.
Is that Frank Miller as well, or just like
Frank Miller? Yeah, he didn't drop a hero. Bill Sankey bitch did the really weird artwork for that, but
Huh.
86 is a brilliant storyline. I think Zack would just go bonkers with that.
Oh yeah, I would love to see. I mean, just at this point, you have to trust Zack's vision.
Yeah.
They cut it, at the knees, after BVS before. When he was setting up this film where everyone is saying, I mean, I heard there's like an action scene, just every 30 minutes in this film. So I mean, it's just
last time my source told me that the 4 hours fly by really quickly. You don't notice it. You don't notice it at all.
So looking forward. So like George says here, what we're looking forward to for Warner Brothers and DC is Hamada verse versus Snyderverse. That's what it's kind of sounding.
You know
like.
what? That's a great way of putting it. Actually, that's exactly what it is. I mean,
that's what's going on.
Who's gonna win in that war? Huh?
So I mean, as fans, as fans of this content, the fandom and the viewers here, we really have to decide. Like, are we happy? It sounds like Zack's getting more. HBOMax, restore the Snyderverse is what we're going to be saying. As soon as right now we're saying it, and especially after we see the Snydercut, are we going to be happy and satisfied with that? That it may be HBOMax special IMAX screenings. Maybe people are lobbying for IMAX screenings in social media right now, like bloggers are saying this needs to be seen in theaters. The Snydercut. So I mean. Are we happy with that? Because that may be the reality, going forward. Now, first we got TiVo in the chat right here. Just start over from the beginning, TiVo. What did you miss? Okay, let's address this here. If there's any questions, comments in the chat about DC, well, I'll try to catch up to as many as I can. So we, as long as we have Mikey here, so we got TiVo talking. So Cisco saying here, because we do want to kind of be clear about what, again, this is DC fans. We love all these characters. We love Zack's legacy characters. It sounds like there's going to be like a split here. What's speculated? The Flash one will be like a Flashpoint Paradox style reset, theatrical Justice League in a certain sense. Is that is that a fair way to sum up this Flash film?
That's a fair way of summing it up. But here's the part. Okay, two things I want to bring up here. There are two prominent filmmakers that are set to have their own pocket universe on HBO Max. Basically, it's J.J. Abrams versus Zack Snyder.
Yep.
Because J.J. is going to have his own pocket universe on there. Justice League Dark and Constantine.
You think the Black Superman's going to be HBO Max?
No, that's theatrical.
That's theatrical? Okay.
That's theatrical, yeah. No, JJ will get the theatrical treatment because, they love JJ,
They love JJ. I mean, hey, you give him $500 million, you better love that person.
Yeah. They love him, even though, Rise of Skywalker. Well, anyway.
I'm not going to fully blame him on that, though. I'm actually not. I'm not going to fully blame. So, we brought up go ahead, Mikey.
But JJ, the thing is, JJ has his own vision. He's not going to be as faithful to the comic book roots as Zack would. So expect major changes with anything that JJ does for HBO Max.
Major changes. Now, I will say, when we first heard about the POC angle for Constantine, right?
Yeah.
That story came out and got picked up by a lot of people, and you sort of just said like, "There's more coming with that."
Yeah, there's more. I mean, I like some of JJ's stuff. I mean, but here's the thing: he likes to put his own take on stuff that's not faithful to the comic books, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Look, a little bit of history about me. I'm a huge DC fan. I've been a DC fan since 1978. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan is my favorite superhero of all time. I'm actually more of a DC kid, even though he would consider me a Marvel guy.
This guy. I didn't mean to break your attention.
I
Right
will
there.
not quote that. I will not quote that. Okay,
T-Bone
there's an
strikes
image.
again. He may be there tomorrow for the Super Team Mega Force. I'm not sure yet.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think Joss Whedon may have left something on the bed with Justice League.
Oh man, hilarious! But so we touched on J.J. Abrams because I know I've been kind of dancing around this all stream, right,
Okay.
Mikey. So with the J.J. Abrams now, you put out a little information about J.J. Abrams about apparently this Black Superman idea has been around for a couple years. Am I right in saying that?
Maybe like a year or so.
About a year.
Okay, I might as well tell you because it's already out in the open. So last week I was being interviewed by Geek Culture Congress YouTube channel, and I drank some green tea before the broadcast. I was feeling really chill and calm, you know. It's like, yeah, man, sure, you know. So, and I normally don't spill like this, like without thinking about it. I'm very careful about what I say on the air.
Right.
They got me so comfortable. We started discussing J.J. Abrams. I'm like, and all of a sudden I was like, hey, did you know? Like, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I just say? So about a year or so ago, the time is kind of blurry right now. I was told that and I didn't write an article on this. There's no website at the time. I mean, I could have posted it on Facebook. It was so stupid I couldn't do it. It was just a dumb idea. Apparently, I don't know if this was JJ's idea or an executive who wanted him to do it, or just it was out there. But remember, I reported back then that JJ wasn't going to use Henry Cavill. He was not going to use him. He's going to have his own Superman. Now, I put that news out there. I said that Constantine will get recast. I didn't know they were going to hire a black actor for him, but I just said he won't be Matt Ryan for sure.
Right.
But one of my sources gave me this really horrible storyline for a Superman reboot, and I said this can't be real. This can't be real. Now, apparently Warner Brothers was really jealous about Black Panther. All the billion-dollar box office, the critical acclaim, everything. That movie hit all the right cylinders, right? I mean, everybody was talking about that movie.
Oh yeah, it was
and
a
we were jealous.
Like,
how come we can't do this? You know? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we have Cyborg. I mean, he's our black superhero, but they couldn't do anything with that kind of heaviness. You know? Like
the scale
of
relevance.
Black Panther. The scale. There you go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And so they had this idea of a black Superman. No, I had no idea about Calvin Ellis. I had no idea who he was. It just recently I was reminded that he was the guy that was inspired by Barack Obama. And
yes.
I forgot about that character. I mean, it was on some sites back in the day.
Yeah, because Black Superman, I always thought of Val Zod. When you say Black Superman, I'm thinking Earth 2.
Steel, you know, I thought that's
or Steel.
Yeah, make a new Steel movie. And that's what I thought this was. Like, oh, this is a reboot of Steel. He goes, no, it's not a reboot of Steel. And I said, okay, so what is it?
No, it's not.
Well, see, DC Films wants their own Black Panther. And I'm like, okay. So what they're planning on doing, or they discussed doing, was to reboot Superman as a Black Panther type figure. And I'm like, huh?
Huh?
And, yeah, he goes,
that's what I said. Huh?
He is, and they're keeping the Kryptonian origin. He's on Krypton. Right. But Krypton is a black Krypton. It'll be like Wakanda.
Like Wakanda. So Krypton will be Wakanda. This is early development of J.J. Abrams' Superman story. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm following.
Again, I don't know if J.J. was involved in the story
Okay,
or
okay.
this, or if it came from an executive that threw this out there. But
We know it's a different writer though, because the new writer they have was not
that's the
attached.
same guy doing it now.
Right.
But my God,
Thankfully.
I will laugh though they keep this guy. Anyway, so and this is their way of making their own Black Panther. I mean, they were desperate. They really wanted their own Black Panther, and so Krypton is it blows up like it does in the Kal-El version. He he is rocketed to Earth. Now here's a part that just like no way, you can't do this. You can't do
Plot
it.
twist.
He is rocketed to Earth and he is found by a white couple.
So he's Webster, basically. This is Super Webster.
Exactly.
This is what I got from that.
Yeah. He's discovered by a white couple in Detroit. I'm like, what?
Detroit. So this is Eminem's family. He crashes an 8 Mile. All right. And then he's Black Webster, Super Webster. That's what I hear when you say that.
So there you go. It's Eminem, he's Black Panther.
That's so terrible. But again, that was early development.
If you call it that, I mean, I'm sitting on the phone. I'm on the phone. I said, "You're joking, right? This can't be real. This can't be real. There's no way." I said, "I can't write this. I can't. Look, I'm gonna be laughing too hard while I'm writing this."
Right.
Man.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he said, and I'm like, I'm just speechless, right? I have no idea what to say. And this guy is really serious. He goes, yeah, he's adopted by this white couple and he's gonna have like social political themes. I'm like,
oh my goodness,
this sounds so awful. I can't.
Yeah, that concept.
I didn't tell. I didn't post it. I did tell a couple of people. I told Pete DeLuca of Pete's Basement. And in fact, I'm gonna have him on my show next Wednesday, probably. And I'm going to ask him if he remembers me texting him that in the middle of the afternoon, like, hey, what do you think of Honda Krypton?
This your show, you're doing a video on Geekosity YouTube?
Yeah, we're going to do a live chat thing.
Great.
But he has to remember, I got text from him back like, what the fuck?
Right. That's what, when I heard you tell that story, I was like, no, it gets worse. Every turn, that story gets worse.
I will say this film, I'm sure it's much better.
Yeah. Like I said, new writer. Hopefully, just they threw away that entire treatment and we're getting something better. So
I didn't even think about Webster until Geek Culture Congress brought it up. Like, oh my god, it's even worse now.
Yeah, it gets worse. Every detail, it's like it's the Wakanda. You want a Wakanda, but then you're gonna blow it up. Right, so that's the first problem. That's the first problem. Yeah. And then you have him crash in Detroit. So that's Eminem. You have a white couple, that's Webster. So it's just every turn is terrible with that.
It's funny, and it's funny because the only reason why I knew he wasn't kidding was when he said Detroit. All of a sudden I thought of just like Detroit when it had Vixen on the team and that 80s JLA team that was set in Detroit with Vixen and I think Elongated Man was in that crew. Mm-hmm. So maybe he forms a JLA in Detroit. That's what I was thinking.
Oh my goodness! And it gets worse.
It gets worse and worse when you think about
every detail. So we're gonna move away from J.J. Abrams because that was. But as soon as I heard you say that, I was like, oh, I want Mikey to talk about that line. But just to let the viewers know, the writer has changed. I think these treatments have changed.
Yeah,
I do not think they're doing a Krypton Wakanda for Black Superman. Now they say a reboot. I do want to address that real quick. They say the term reboot. That was sort of a jab at Cavill. I'm just assuming to call it a reboot. I mean, if on one hand you're saying multiverse, but then you say reboot. This is just a different Superman. Is that the way to look at it?
It takes place in different Earth 23, so it'll take place in a different universe. So.
Right. So that's just, that's that. Henry Cavill, I believe, like your story said, that he's going to do more on HBO Max as well.
Yeah. But
going forward.
he will appear like in Black Adam and things like that. But
Yeah, The Rock
he
is going to make sure
have
of
the
that.
solo franchise in theaters, so it'll be whoever they get for this guy.
So
Michael B. Jordan or John Boyega. There's 2 rumors.
Yeah, so Cavill may do like cameos theatrically.
Yeah, cameo. But The Rock really wants him to be in Black Adam too, and to have supporting. Like him be. They want to fight. I mean,
right.
Who wouldn't pay to see that? Come on.
Oh, Zach, that's $1 billion there. I
there you go. I mean,
so but it's gonna be interesting after this Flash film. And that's gonna be like the long conversation we'll probably pick up on another time. But that they're trying to form a new Justice League after the Flash film, and you had a story about that a year ago, and we'll just it's developing. We'll pick up on that. Let's jump to what we were saying. James Gunn here. Will he have his own universe? He has this Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, HBOMax. Have you heard anything with James Gunn even doing more?
He of all the filmmakers, he is the most difficult to scoop. His stuff doesn't leak. It just doesn't leak, and probably because he keeps everything close to his vest and he doesn't talk about it. But
he's talking about the J.J. Abrams, the worst idea ever. Oh man. I know it's pretty bad. I know.
It's just really bad. It's really, really bad. I couldn't write it. I'm like, this is so silly, so horrible. I just couldn't.
Webster kid from Tulsa. I knew I had some comments there. I didn't even see them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is like Steve says, we are talking about studio execs. I can believe this.
Yeah, exactly.
Face palm. It's that bad, y'all. It's that bad. But he will be in this one. He will be Calvin Ellis. Now, quick little news tip on that is that Calvin Ellis is technically still Kal-El in the comics.
Yeah,
he's still Kal-El from Krypton. But yes, he'll be Calvin Ellis on Earth. So that's the point. So everyone's face palming. Oh my god!
I think it may have taken people a few minutes to get the shock.
Oh man, it's like I was like in shock for a minute. And I missed everyone's comment. 8 Mile is Superman. Is what Mikey said. That's what he heard. Yeah.
Like he lands in Detroit. I mean, my ears.
Oh man, I'm sorry I missed all these comments. Everyone is like, he's like, fuck no.
There's some hilarious reactions here. Oh my god.
I tell you, man, it was that bad, y'all. It was that bad. I'm sorry I subjected y'all to that, but just wanted to get that story out there.
Yeah, imagine this was their vision of a Black Panther movie. I mean, seriously. Black alien kid gets adopted by 2 white people in Detroit. This was like a bad SNL skit.
It's like, did they want an Oscar for that? Like, what was they trying to do?
Exactly.
That's one reason why you would do something like that. But interesting.
Unbelievable. I just like they get paid millions for these ideas, you know that.
So as we round this out, if there's any more specific questions for Mikey Sutton, while we have him here, we have Mikey Sutton here, and like as Yahoo Entertainment has said, he's one of the most reliable sources out there. Aside from, like I said, because I'm going to do an extensive video on what you just put out about Warner Brothers. You already know that. Those are probably like my biggest videos on my channel. When I cover Warner Brothers, that's coming. Just the I guess the terrain going forward. Like I said, the Snydercut's coming out next week. Everyone seems to be excited.
Yeah,
Marvel fans, everyone's fans. Is it a possibility after the Snyder Cut we're going to hear like more of Warner Brothers play? Like is Hamada going to flood the news after Snyder Cut comes out? Because they're losing this. If there's a battle, the public opinion.
AT&T will they really have no choice because it's gonna get a lot of social media um, heat after that movie comes out.
Oh wait, I gotta highlight this. Skywalker goes a rap battle at the end of Black Superman. And 8 Mile. That's great. That's great. Oh my God.
They're gonna have a wrap off at the end, you know.
It's that bad, y'all. It's that bad. But I do want to let the viewers know we're opening up the conversation. If there's other cinematic universes I do want to talk before Mikey leaves here, definitely throw it in there. MCU, Star Wars, what have you. We did a good hour and a half of DC.
Well, you know what? You know, before I forget, let's talk about the Star Wars.
Great.
You know, there was some chatter the other day about Bob Chapek saying that Kathleen Kennedy will be around for many years to come. Mm-hmm. Now, you're a sports guy still. You've heard this a million times. You've heard general managers for football teams. They will always say this. We look forward to having him being our star quarterback for years to come.
Right. Then they trade him.
Also, he's gone the next year. Right? I mean, right. I look forward to playing in Detroit next year. You're back in Krypton next year.
So don't believe the hype with the Kathleen.
No, I mean they will say this in public because they have to. What are they going to say? Oh, she sucks. I mean, he's not going to say it.
Right.
Whether he means it or not, we don't know. I'm not saying that he's lying, but I'm just saying that he has to put up a positive face. He's not going to say, "I'm not sure about her."
Right. He's going to give that vote of confidence.
Exactly, vote of confidence. Yeah.
And kind of let it play out. So we'll see. Star Wars, like I feel for Star Wars fans because I know they're so. You would think the Luke Skywalker appearance would have united.
Yeah.
And again, this is me from the outside. I'm not a hardcore Star Wars, but I just think that would have united them, and it's kind of split them further that they had Luke Skywalker.
Well, the whole Gina Carano thing, I think, kind of
that didn't help.
Polarized again. Mm-hmm. And they just really don't like Kathleen Kennedy. I mean,
that's all it comes down to. And there's no separate universe that they can. In a sense, she's
exactly.
You know, so that is what it is. But so we got Hugo saying here. Let's see. He asked a while back if Warner Bros. Were secretly jumping the gun behind the scenes, developing a Mortal Kombat DC crossover movie. Interesting. Anything with Mortal Kombat is that going to be like an ongoing franchise? You think?
Yeah, that will be. Yeah.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
Again, it really depends on how well it does, but I'm pretty sure that the buzz around that right now is really strong.
Yeah, and I think
really strong.
All these films. I'm gonna have more news about the numbers of HBOMax going forward. But all of these films, it's been a great day and date release as far as just pandemic theatrical numbers. Great engagement HBOMax. They're winning that format, and Mortal Kombat in April, I think it'll be more of the same. I think I think it's gonna be some good stuff. So let's see. I'm gonna jump on the comments here, and let's see. TW said, I bet they're gonna say good stuff.
I was thinking the same thing too.
It's that bad, y'all. It's that bad. Everyone's jumping in on this now. So it just. We've lost the chat. And I'm assuming James was from Detroit, so I'm sorry. That is funny. That is funny. So Mir right here, he's saying as far as there's a Geekosity article, Mikey, of course, that you wrote about this last September about a new JL team after the Flash. It's starting to get a little more clear to me what they're really planning.
Yeah.
The Flash film, I'll just say this and I want you to comment on this, but the Flash film is called The Flash, but it's going to have that Flashpoint event where Barry goes back to save his mother. That's the Flashpoint that changes the present, he has to do something to change it back, but it's not going to all be the same when he's done. At the end of this movie, the Justice League is not going to be the same. Is that fair to say?
No, here's what's kind of bothering me lately is that we're looking at the possibility of 2 Justice League teams. And I know you want to do the whole multiverse thing, but
it's gonna be weird.
That is awfully confusing. Awfully confusing. So,
oh man,
here's the thing about Walter Hamada and DC films, which is why they don't want a cohesive universe. Is they don't know what to do. They don't know how to plan it out. They don't know how to map it out. Like, okay, like Greg Berlanti or Kevin Feige does. Whether you like them or you loathe them, they know how to plan these things out in advance. And so, what are you going to do? When you have 2 Justice League teams, you have Zack Snyder doing his pocket universe.
Hey.
Then you have something else in theaters. Because you're going to have probably Calvin Ellis as the Superman in the new JLA. Well, where's Henry?
Right. It's going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess.
Right? So I really don't know what they're going to do. Now, what I heard before was that in theaters, they were going to have the Justice Society. And they can do that and then have the JLA on HBOMax with Snyder. But if you do the JSA, though, you're going to miss out on some pretty big characters there because, Batman and Superman are not in the JSA.
Yeah, like Donatello's saying here, the 2 JL team that just doesn't.
They can't happen.
That doesn't jive. Yeah, that doesn't jive.
Yeah, they're. But I think right now they're probably. Let's not worry about it right now. Let's just
Yeah. Let's get the Snyder cut next week. Like I said, we're under 1 week away from the Snyder cut, y'all. So as a fandom, that is a crowning achievement. It sounds like more sources are saying like we're getting more. Zack is going to do more.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Let's one thing at a time. Let's. Now Damien says here, question for Mikey: has AT&T and Zack said anything about the way Warner Brothers treats Zack? Like again, this whole smoke screen trying to take the attention away. Do you have any info on that?
What I've heard in the past is that AT&T wants to be kind of hands off on WB, unless it's absolutely necessary for them to do something. Like the Snydercut was mostly AT&T. Like, no, we're going to do this. So if there's any civil war going on there, they really want to keep it quiet.
Okay.
But AT&T will get their way if they feel they need to.
If they want it.
Yeah. Nothing can stop them. No.
Right, because Zack has been very vocal, I guess is the word to say, about how Warner Brothers has been, acting and treating them.
Zack is basically saying, "You don't love me anymore." you can tell. I mean, it's like, well,
right. So, I mean, he's very clear. I think he knows his angle is HBO Max, AT&T. So he's been, vocal about WB.
In the article that's on geekosymag.com right now, there's a quote from Zack where he actually openly says he's frustrated with the fact that Joss Whedon is considered canon. But he goes, "You know what? It's not my decision. I can't do anything about it."
See, that's crazy. Like that's like in what universe? Like everyone is going to right now. You have general, MCU fans praising the Snyder Cut.
Hey, I have to say this, like when the Snyder Cut leaked on HBO Max, parts of it was on Twitter and everything, and I didn't hear from people who had seen the film yet. That was until my source. I got my first review of the movie, but some of the feedback I was getting before I saw some of the leak footage myself. People were unhappy about the Martian Manhunter. Is it okay to spill that? I mean, that's out there. Everybody knows by now.
Yeah, we'll stay general with that, but I did hear.
But yeah, So there are some complaints about Batman's dialogue, and I think I have a feeling that generally these were people that were skeptical to begin with, so it's hard to convince them.
Right.
But after today, when I heard from my source, like screaming the gospel in my ear about the Snydercut, I am now thoroughly convinced this movie is great, and I wish I could see it myself. But for Snyder to win over a guy who collects Marvel Funkos, okay?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is huge. Like because I won't be able to take this lightly. Like there's almost like a group out there that just actively hates BVS, and that's their reason for hating whatever Zack is going to do. And this Snyder Cut is converting people like that doesn't like BVS.
He said he will see it again now. He's going to go back and watch BVS again after seeing this to see if he has the same reaction because he was so blown away by this film. And what he told me as well is that Zack is getting even better as a director. He saw like some scenes in here where it's like, wow, he's really finding his groove. And with the second and third movie, he would just like blow it out of the water even more.
Well, that's why fans of Snyder, like, we're excited for Army of the Dead because that was the first film he did when he, went back to directing after the tragedy, with his daughter Autumn. So I think that's going to be a wonderful ensemble film. Justice League, it sounded like Snyder Cut was going to be that, Justice League was going to be that ensemble film that was like a crowning achievement, for Zack Snyder. And it sounds like we're going to get it. I mean, the reviews are trickling out. It's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time for fans of that. Yeah. Now, Jonathan says here, we kind of touched on this, but as far as it seems like WB, I guess, is kind of pushing out Cavill and Ben Affleck. Is that kind of the angle with this?
Yeah, it's like the news of the Black Superman came out, like right before Snydercut is released. I mean, they are really trying to drown out this movie. They're trying to drown it out.
Yeah. Superman, Supergirl, like they're announcing
all this stuff. It came out with like, why are you telling people this now? Again, it's what I was telling you earlier. Forget the shiny new toy. I mean, forget the old toy. Here's a shiny new toy right here.
That's something new right here. We got Supergirl, which I'm looking forward to. This wonderful young actress. I think she's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think so too.
They put her like in the wrong crosshairs right there. I believe putting that story out before the Snyder Cut. Flash is not going to production to April, so
But here's the plot twist: is that the old toy is better now.
Upgraded.
Yeah, it got upgrades, right? It's just like Blue Beetle's armor, right? You also got an upgrade.
Now, this comment here is another question that kind of echoes this. WB, Hamada basically doesn't really have a real plan.
They don't.
You got the Todd Phillips Joker, you got the Birds of Prey. They're not connected. They're all over the place, right?
They're throwing everything up against the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean,
is there a future where they realize that and say, "Hey, Zack, like, can we, let's fade." We're past that bridge, right? Like, I don't see.
Well, I thought they were there in 2019 when they were like talking about going forward with more of Zack's universe.
Right.
But all of a sudden they're like, no, let's do this instead.
Yep. Like you're saying here, as far as, the WB is very reactionary, could they fold Zack back into the main, I guess, DCEU? Zack has been very open about saying, hey, no, they're recent interviews. Yeah.
That Frank made a great point there because this is the X factor in all of this. We've been talking about if the Snydercut is big. Now, how big will it be? If it's so huge, then Hamada might not have any choice. If AT&T says, you know what, this is too big for HBOMax, there is that chance. But I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Right.
I don't want to get everybody too excited.
Right.
I'm saying right now, what's on the table right now, realistically, is more Zack Snyder on HBOMax. Now, if it explodes beyond imagination, believe me, AT&T is gonna be like, you know what, get out of here. You know?
I'm saying,
because we're gonna have more Zack in theaters, but there's also the question of AT&T sees Zack's long form vision and they feel it works better on the streamer. That's the other part of it.
All
Like
right.
to bring out this quality in Zack, you have to give him that amount of space.
Man, I tell you, so it's gonna be interesting after the Snyder Cut, hits for everyone. The response is going to be crazy. It's already a amazing response on social media about restore the Snyderverse.
My source told me if you think people are euphoric right now, wait till it comes out. Let me see it. Because,
oh goodness, I tell you,
like, when I got this call today, because he told me he was gonna call, and I knew he was gonna see Snydercut. I wanted to make sure that I talked to him before I went on your show, because
I appreciate that.
Because I could bring something to the table here besides, what I was planning on doing so. But I didn't expect a glowing review from an MCU junkie like that. I mean, this guy, can tell you something still. This guy quotes Ant-Man dialogue, okay? Okay?
And we know it's not Zack's audience right there. That's not
that is not Zack's audience, right? I mean, okay, this guy is so Marvel. He likes Iron Fist a lot. I'm like, what? Because he's a Marvel zombie. He's a Marvel zombie.
Wow.
Because he goes, yeah, I know Iron Fist is flawed and everything, but it's Iron Fist. So like, okay, sure, whatever. Right? But I remember when he saw Dawn of Justice, and he was like, no, that film was such a letdown, and so before he saw this film, he was a little bit skeptical. He was like, I don't know, they can make that any better, I get this review, and he's talking about Nolan, and like he compared to Lord of the Rings. I'm like, what, dude?
Wow. I've been hearing that though, Mikey. That's a term that's popped up a couple times.
Confession here, I have not seen Lord of the Rings. I missed those films in theaters. So I'm sure you guys who have seen Lord of the Rings, when I say that, you're gonna be like, what? Okay, I can't. I want to see this right now. Put it on right now.
That's epic, and it needs to be more to the story. Now, Double MJ, I want to address. He's saying don't take BVS haters seriously. The point that I'm making, highlighting that, is that a lot of people that don't like Zack Snyder's films, in a sense, they always say they don't like BVS. If you can get someone that publicly does not like BVS to like the Snyder Cut, that's a win. That's a win.
And it kind of predicts what's going to happen, right? When it's out.
The general audience is going to accept this.
Because on my Facebook, I look at the likes and everything. I just trying to gauge how excited people are about something, And when I have an MCU zombie going crazy over Snydercut, like, okay, you got my attention, right?
This is successful. Like I always try to wait on the numbers and everything. Now I think because someone reached out to me before I even went live with you, and they was like, HBOMax in a sense are already kind of seeing numbers. I don't know how. I don't know, like how that's possible, but I guess I'm assuming social media engagement and early bloggers have seen the film. They're already liking the return already, before it's officially out. So that's interesting. that's very interesting.
I just wish though they had kept that original format of like weekly, like an hour a week.
That would have been nice. Yeah,
that would have been awesome, right? Because every week we'd be like freaking out, right? Like, but that's fine. I'll watch all 4 hours in one sitting,
Oh yeah, I'm watching it back to back. I'm do 8 hours. I'm devoting 8 hours as soon as it drops.
And sure, we'll come back here and we'll discuss it and everything. But man, Warner is it's a huge dilemma right now because this movie is going to overshadow what they're planning on right now with other projects, and they're announcing this, they're announcing that. I'm like, well, that old toy man just got
I mean,
upgrade.
The next DC film is what? It's not coming out till 2022, right? Like, what you got? The Batman.
The Batman
that's been pushed to 2022.
So Suicide Squad. When is that coming out?
Okay, so that's this summer. Yeah, so Suicide Squad, which is being treated as separate. Again, this is the Hamada treatment of you just do your own thing.
Yeah.
The Snyder Cut is going to dominate the year for DC property.
It will. And it's like people wanting to see his characters more. But he said this will be the film that'll win over everybody to Zack Snyder's side.
Wow. I mean, that's great to hear. Like, we have let's see, someone had a good comment about early reviews. We kind of got that with BVS too, and then we got the floodgates of hate. But it says good early positive reviews. Then when it's released, people crash it. This is the thing: is that these are people who probably went in with low expectations too,
exactly.
ready to kind of jab at it. I always quote one of my friends who I know he's hardcore MCU Disney Plus, like he was just clinging to WandaVision every week, right? And he walked away from the Snyder Cut. He had an early screening, and he just said hashtag restore the Snyderverse. We need more. We need more. So people like that are giving it positive reviews. I'm excited for the general audience, next week. So it's good news all around. But Warner Bros. Is still up to its shenanigans. So just to recap the people as we kind of close this out. Again, if there's any last minute questions, throw them in there. But as far as again the latest, I guess rumors to address, will Zack do more? It's sounding like more on HBOMax. So that's a yes from Mikey. And we'll see if they try to expand that from HBOMax to theatrical. We'll see. But then the other rumors of Wonder Woman 3, you're saying it's still something that's Patty Jenkins, right?
It's still Patty.
Yeah, so that's good that we addressed that. And Restore the Snyderverse is trending. Trending.
Fantastic. Great.
So
keep it going. Good. Keep it going, guys, because he needs it. He really does.
They're listening.
They're listening. They really are.
Any other DC specific that you want to bring out before we close this out? I mean, we're looking forward to the Green Lantern series. A lot of news is now out there about that.
I am very excited about that. I was a little disappointed at first when I heard that Hal Jordan wasn't announced, but now that I'm hearing that he will be in the season ender and season 2, okay, Hal Jordan's going to be my favorite hero of all time. He's got to be in there. And how can you have Hal Jordan? I mean, how can you have Sinestro and not have Hal Jordan in there? Come on.
There's no way.
There's no way. How's that going to work?
So that latest story you put out about Sinestro, the Green Lantern series, it sounded like they're setting up for an ongoing series, setting up season 2 for the Sinestro Wars. Now, I know people automatically, if you look at that comic for the Sinestro Wars, you see Jeff Johns right at the top of it. Yes, he did write Sinestro Wars. His boy is Berlanti. That's just the facts, y'all.
Yeah.
So Green Lantern, they are putting money into it, and I'm looking forward to just the depictions finally of the Green Lantern Corps for several different, it's like an anthology, different timelines, So I'm excited for that. And, we'll see. Now, we got last few. I think we kind of touched on this, but if you want to address this again, Batfleck series or project?
I'm positive that he'll get more on HBOMax.
Will it include Deathstroke?
Yes.
So will it be a separate Deathstroke project, possibly?
Possible.
Manganiello has been kind of hitting the trades right now. People gotta realize when these actors and directors start talking, they're trying. What is that, Mikey? Like when they're
They're
kind of negotiate-
campaigning, and they're trying to generate interest. They're trying to show AT&T and Warner that hey, you should. There's excitement for this project.
Exactly, and I think it is. Let's see, Extended Ancient. What's up? He's the one that leaked when the Snyder Cut. It didn't look like it was coming out. He had some of the first images of Cyborg from the Snyder Cut.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
So,
yeah.
he, everyone on social media knows him about that. Cyborg, is there anything we can say about the Cyborg Ray Porter situation that we don't already know?
Nothing to question mark on that.
He's in limbo right now, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a sketchy situation because
it is.
He Ray, I respect everything he's doing, and he said very publicly he doesn't want to work with Hamada at all. Warner Media came out and said, well, they're going forward with these theatrical appearances without Ray Porter or Fisher.
Hey, I saw Ray Fisher a couple of years ago. Really nice guy. In fact, he walked right past me. I did not recognize him at all. He was really dressed down. I mean, he's one of us.
Right. He loves this genre.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I guess can we make this clear for people that when I'm going to start saying, when Zach does more with HBOMax, he's going to have Ray Fisher there.
He will. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Just people keep that in mind.
I gotta get going, guys, but I do have a tease.
All right.
I will have more Green Lantern information next week, and
cool.
Still, I'll contact you, and we can drop it simultaneously on a site on your show.
Definitely.
Go live, and but yeah, I do have some more Green Lantern information coming in about the series. I'm pretty excited. About the show, but Snydercut, guys, keep your expectations high. They will be met. From my source, who reluctantly had to tell me that he loved it, and he said it was one of the hardest things he ever had to do was tell me that he loved this movie because he did not expect it to. And tomorrow we have Super Team Megaforce.
So James can shut up. Tomorrow.
And my MCU scoop at GossieMag.com is dropping tomorrow as well.
Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Pacific, 2 a.m. Edward time. So we're looking forward.
You're 9 to 5. You're 9 to 5.
But thanks. We want to thank Mikey again,
thank you,
chief of Geekosity Mag. Yahoo Entertainment told me to trust you, so I trust what you're saying.
Thank you for all the support, Phil, over the past couple of months, and
definitely
all the viewers of your show. You guys are great.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the chat being very civil. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, and then maybe I'll get another scoop and talk.
I'm gonna get some coffee and yeah.
We out, y'all.